It was a crime that broke the city's heart. Now the suspects in the Junior Guzman Feliz murder case are facing justice and the evidence. Pix 11's Mary Murphy takes you inside the Junior trial.
Good evening, and thank you for joining me yet again on Pix 11 Facebook Live, recapping another day at the Junior trial, another disruption at the Junior trial, very emotional, by Junior's mother, Leandra Feliz. Here's the footage of her leaving court early this afternoon. The cooperating witness, Reyes, was on the stand, and he hadn't been on that long, and all of a sudden Leandra Feliz just started talking out loud in Spanish. We couldn't hear what she was saying initially, and it was while Reyes was talking in Spanish. He was being cross-examined by Kyle Waters, one of the defense attorneys, and he had been on the stand maybe about a half hour when she got upset. Ms. Feliz left court. Apparently the court officer told her not to come back the rest of the day. Junior's father was there as well, and he followed her out, but he quickly came back. And there was some confusion until Ms. Feliz texted me and said she was at a local gas station just a few blocks from the court, and she asked me to meet her there to explain why she got upset. And I really needed the explanation because I didn't understand why at that moment she got upset. If you watch this piece, you'll understand that she thinks, according to what she's telling me, that the cooperating witness, Sosa Reyes, was trying to sort of sanitize one of the other guys involved in the second case. Here's the piece.
All of them, they are killer. They kill my son. They are the killer, murder. All of them are guilty. And my son is dead. And I don't want another agreement.
I don't want another agreement. In a nutshell, that's why Leandra Feliz had her second outburst at the Junior trial, while cooperating witness Michael Sosa Reyes was being cross-examined by the defense. Reyes will get his charges dismissed in the case if he truthfully testifies at this and other trials. Kevin Alvarez, who dragged Junior out of the bodega, could get his manslaughter plea withdrawn. Feliz got upset when Reyes stated that the passenger in his white Acura, known as Philly, was not a member of the Bad Boys crew, a 180 from what Reyes said Friday.
He is trying to clean him too.
Philly, whose real name is Danilo Payems Pacheco, was allegedly the guy in the man bun, seen exiting the white Acura after Junior was chased to the bodega. He is facing second-degree murder charges in his second trial after this one.
Kevin Alvarez has a good offer, time served, and then I'm afraid now Michael Sosa Reyes trying to clean another one of the bad boy, telling that he was no gang member.
Junior's sister had briefly met Michael Sosa Reyes at a party with Junior a couple of months before the murder. She doesn't like that Sosa's charges could be dropped entirely and he'd have no record.
You're getting no jail time. Why do you need your charges dismissed as well? Why do you need to have your record clean? You're not clean.
Kyle Waters, the defense lawyer for defendant Jonaiki Martinez Estrella, was cross-examining Sosa when Junior's mother left court. He questioned why Sosa is using a Spanish interpreter at trial when he testified in English before a grand jury last summer and reportedly spoke perfect English. Junior's mother said the trial delays caused her to have a breakdown 2 weeks ago in court.
It was too much. It was like accumulating every day, every day, every day. It's like a bomb, and I explode out one day.
Well, Junior's mother told me that a court officer told her not to come back for the rest of the day, and apparently she can come back the next time when court resumes. But you know what? She didn't miss anything this afternoon. We were told that one of the jurors got sick, so the testimony was adjourned until at least Thursday. There have been a lot of delays in this trial. I know so many of you have followed it. This is the 5th week. We've averaged about 3 days a week of testimony. We never have testimony on Wednesdays. Yesterday, we were hoping to have testimony, and it turned out that one of the defendants had a medical issue. Jonaiki apparently has a seizure disorder, so he could not come into court yesterday, and the judge made the decision to wait until today. And we only had about an hour and a half of testimony. And the cross-examination that was going on involved Jonaiki's defense attorney, Kyle Waters. And he spent a lot of time asking Sosa, why are you using a Spanish interpreter? He found that odd because he said, and Sosa admitted this, when Sosa first dealt with the police last June, he was speaking in English. When he testified before the grand jury last June, he was speaking in English. And even in August, I believe there was another grand jury presentation, and once again, Sosa was speaking in English. So why now, during the actual trial, are you speaking in Spanish using an interpreter, which sort of drags things out even more? And the sense that I believe Kyle Waters was trying to give in court is that, Sosa was sort of obstructing cross-examination by speaking in Spanish. Any number of times he said he didn't understand a question. And then the other big issue that came up today, which upset Junior's mother and his sister and also was frustrating the defense, is the change in testimony. When Sosa Reyes was on the stand on Friday, he told the prosecutor that, yes, he was a member of the Bad Boys, which is a division of the Trinitarios gang. And he said the guy that was in the car with him, we have some footage of the cars. He was driving the white Acura. And he said that the guy that was in the white Acura with him in the passenger seat, he was known as Philly. We know his real name, but he said Philly was a member of the gang too, the Bad Boys. Well, now all of a sudden today he's undergoing cross-examination and he's saying that Philly was not a member of the Bad Boys. And he also said that he himself had been kicked out of the Bad Boys in April of 2018, which was 2 months before Junior was killed. So what's the real story today? It's like a 180 from what he said on Friday during direct testimony with the prosecutor. So it was just sort of a messy day. Kyle Waters didn't even get to finish his cross-examination. There's obviously going to be a delay in the trial. The prosecutor had said she was hoping to finish her end of the case by the end of this week, but cross-examination of Sosa, one of the main witnesses, is nowhere near being done. Kyle Waters, the first guy who went today, the first lawyer, he still has more. And then there are 4 other defense attorneys. And then the prosecutor has to bring on the medical examiner. And what we were sensing is that she was going to end her case with these phone calls that were made from the jails where various defendants were brought to after they were arrested. And the prosecution is alleging that these phone calls have admissions on them pertaining to the case and also information about discarding weapons. So there's still a little bit more to come with the prosecution before she wraps, Morgan Dolan. And then in terms of the defense, it's not clear whether they would bring on 1 or 2 witnesses of their own. But as I said at 6 o'clock during my piece, it seems like the defense is doing rigorous cross-examination of all the prosecution witnesses to try to punch holes anywhere that the defense team can in the case. It's been quite a trial, very, very compelling, but certainly not running that smoothly. Let me show you some pictures again of the guy with the man bun. He really was the focus of Leandra Felice's ire today. His real name is Danilo Payams Pacheco. There you see him allegedly getting out of the white Acura, the passenger side. He was charged with murder in the 2nd degree. Apparently, he's a friend of Michael Sosa Reyes. Now the family, Junior's family, is trying to figure out, why are you changing your story from Friday? Why are you saying that he was not a member of the Bad Boys? Let me show a graphic of all the murder defendants. I mean, there are 5 of them, and we haven't really shown them all at once. Their attorneys are all going to want a shot at Sosa Reyes, so it may take some time. I'm getting a sense also of what may have to happen before this case even goes to closing arguments, also known as summations. I mean, once the defense figures out whether or not it's putting on any witnesses, there will probably be a status hearing with the judge to talk about how he's going to explain the law to the jury. That there's always a lot of debate about that, because defense attorneys want the law explained one way, prosecutors maybe want it explained another way. So it's very important how the judge, and in this case his name is Robert Neary, how is he going to explain all these different charges to the jury and what they have to consider in order to get a guilty or not guilty verdict. So, I'm under the impression there will be a conference with the judge about how this case will be charged. The closing arguments between the 5 defense attorneys and the prosecutor could take about 2 days, and then the judge will take some time to very carefully charge the jury. So I was thinking that the summations would be next week. They may not happen next week. It could be possibly early the following week. So delays, and for all different reasons. And this all comes back to Junior, his first anniversary of his death coming up. That will be on June 20th, 2 weeks from this Thursday. And I've been told that there will be a mass held in the Bronx and then a march to the site where he was killed by the bodega. And you remember the thousands and thousands of candles put on the sidewalk last year after Junior was killed. Well, you'll probably see candles again on June 20th. But who knows if there'll be a verdict before the anniversary. You know, no one can really say. This trial has been marked by a lot of surprises and delays, a lot of it beyond the control of the court. So the latest we know is that the testimony is supposed to resume on Thursday. And, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of this show that Miss Felice contacted me. She texted me and she wanted to speak to me about why she left court today. And I have about 2 minutes of that Facebook Live, which it's going viral. I mean, thousands, tens of thousands of people have been watching this Facebook Live that we did in a gas station. Here's the first 2 minutes or so of that Facebook Live. Okay, we're live in the Bronx with Junior's mother, Leandra Felice. And apparently she's just been told that she's banned from the courtroom indefinitely because she got upset during the cross-examination of Michael Sosa Reyes. Why did you say something out loud in court, and what did you say?
I say all of them, they are killer. They kill my son. They are the killer, murder. All of them are guilty. They killed my son, a little baby, 15 years old. Now they have a good agreement with dismiss the case. My son is dead. My son is gonna come back. Kevin already has a good offer, time served. And then I'm afraid now Michael Sosa Reyes trying to clean another one of the bad boy, telling that he was no gang member and my son is dead. And I don't want another agreement, another good agreement like they've been doing it, leaving all those killers out free and my son dead.
But
I'm so scared. I'm afraid.
You didn't start screaming this time, but you did start talking out loud in court. And you said something in Spanish after Sosa said something in Spanish. What did he say that got you mad?
He say the Felix, another bad boy, another killer. The group of the bad boy, he's no bad boy. He's not gang member. And he say, Michael Sosa say, he wasn't gang member either since April 18.
He was out with them, though, the night that your son was killed. He was with the bad boys and the Los Sores.
Exactly.
According to his testimony. So it's almost like you're agreeing with some of what the defense attorney was saying. Usually the defense attorney is going against the witness, the prosecution witness, and it's almost like you're upset with the prosecution witness. And how is that going to help you? The prosecutor is trying to win convictions for your son's death.
And the way how they do whatever they do, they know the law better than me. I don't know the law. I'm not a lawyer. I just lost my son. They killed my little baby. I'm the mother of my son. I miss my son. I just need my son back. And they can do whatever they want.
Well, that interview in the gas station ran about 13 minutes live, and you can see it. It's on Pix11 Facebook, and I believe it's also on Pix11.com. It's also on my Mary Murphy Mystery Facebook page. I know there are about 70,000 people have watched it so far, just that 13 minutes from the gas station in the Bronx. I want to mention something. You know, so many of you write in, and we really appreciate that. One of the viewers, Trisha Januska, made a point. She said, yes, delays in this trial, but still, this trial is so far ahead of many others that can take years to come into the courtroom with a jury. And you know what, Trisha, you are right. Because before Junior's case started, I did a story mentioning how there were many other high-profile cases, including the Boston Marathon bombing case and the Howard Beach jogger murder. Those cases took 2 years to go into a courtroom, and Junior's case went to trial about 10 months after he was killed. So yes, there have been delays, but pretty much like Tricia said, this is kind of way ahead of some other high-profile cases. So what we're hearing now is that courtroom testimony will possibly resume on Thursday. And I just want to let you know that our coverage is expanding because we're getting ready now for the first anniversary coverage of Junior's murder. And we're also waiting for the closing arguments in this case. My colleague, James Ford, he did the opening statements on May 6th. He also did the first story on Junior back on June 22nd of last year, which was a Friday. And he covered a lot of the arraignments when the suspects were first brought into court, first in New Jersey, then here in the Bronx. So James will be involved in some of the coverage over the next week as we go to closing arguments. And Andrea Cavalier, who's been with me from the beginning and who does all these Facebook Lives with me, including when we've gone to the Bronx on location, when we've been at the bodega with Junior's mother taking on alleged scammers, when we went to Junior's mom's new apartment where she has all these beautiful pictures of Junior hanging that were sent to her by people from around the world. Well, Andrea Cavalier is going to be going into court. She's our web producer, she's a reporter, and she is going to be helping us as we monitor the last phases of the trial. There's no court tomorrow. I have to make a brief trip. I'm going to be going to Canada for a short time, but I'm still very involved in the coverage. I'm helping to get ready for the anniversary of Junior as well. So I thank you for joining us yet again. We will always update you on the latest of what's going on in this case. We know that people around the world care so much about Junior and about his family and justice for Junior. So thank you once again, and see you the next time. Have a good night.